Ladies and gentlemen, I have always opined on this platform that politics is a very interesting game and at the same time a very dirty game. Yesterday, while Uhuru Kenyatta, the fourth president of the Republic of Kenya, was addressing or giving his speech during the Jubilee NDC, William Samoei Arap Ruto, the current president of the Republic of Kenya, was busy following the events as they unfolded right from State House. The president was accompanied by two influential religious leaders from the mountain, and he was also accompanied by Kimani Ichung'wah. I know most of you are wondering how I came to know about this. The fact is, as someone who has participated in politics, there are things I can easily conclude. Kimani Ichung'wah, then after that meeting, dashed straight to his Kikuyu constituency and responded to Uhuru Kenyatta. That response by Kimani Ichung'wah is actually what William Ruto told him to go and say outside there. Now, this is how I knew about the presence of the two influential religious leaders, just from a post by Kimani Ichung'wah. This is what Ichung'wah posted. Earlier today, I joined His Excellency William Ruto during a courtesy call by Bishop Charles Mungane Muturi of Mount Kenya South ACK, accompanied by Archdeacon Reverend Richard Kamau. And then, after this meeting and after the NDC, Kimani Ichung'wah was then released and went to his constituency. And listening to him, these two speeches, listening to Kimani Ichung'wah.
Sisi tunakuambia tu kwa upole, tulikupea heshima ya miaka 10, tukakuchagua kama rais, ukaharibu nchi yetu, ukaharibu uchumi wetu. Tunakuambia uache kutupigia kelele kazini. Uache tufanye kazi, tutengeneze ile uchumi wewe uliharibu mkiwa na mtu yako ya handshake. Na hakuna mtu ako na haja ya kuuzia uoga, na hatukuuzii uoga, hata hatuna uoga ya kuuza. Na watu wa Keno wameniambia wewe walikupea kura na ikatosha. Hawajui ile kitu gani nyingine unatafuta kwa siasa. Lakini kama unataka kurudi kwa siasa, please welcome back. Come to our level, we will deal with you at our level in the manner you want to be dealt with. We only respect you as our former president. We respect you as a retired president. If you want to degrade yourself from the level of a retired president to a party activist, we shall deal with you as a party activist. And that is not to mean we don't respect your rights to engage in political activity. But please, don't think you will use your ill-acquired wealth to undermine a government that was elected by the people of Kenya.
Now, from that speech, you can clearly tell William Ruto's plan. Again, listening to this.
It is not fear that is being sold to Uhuru Kenyatta. What Uhuru Kenyatta is afraid of is the sabotage he was financing through violent demonstrations. Those violent demonstrations have come to an end. And I know that is a pain Uhuru Kenyatta is suffering from today, that he has no currency of violence to blackmail government, to protect his ill-acquired wealth, to protect the massive looting that was done by him and his cronies under the handshake regime. And we want to tell him, nobody is selling fear to you. Nobody is intimidating you in any way. You have your rights as a former president to do whatever you want to do. And you are protected by our constitution, and we will protect your rights, just as we protect the rights of these Kenyans who want a peaceful country where they can engage in business and rebuild the country's economy. The economy you, Uhuru Kenyatta, and Raila Odinga destroyed under the handshake regime. He is rich enough not to even be bothered by retirement benefits. They looted this country enough under the handshake regime. He doesn't need retirement benefits. But we are not interested in his retirement benefits. We are only telling Uhuru Kenyatta, give us the space, time, and peace to put back our economy to where the Kenyan economy ought to be. Stop undermining the government that was elected by the people of Kenya.
So in this video, I want us to look at William Ruto's plan after Uhuru Kenyatta's shocking return to politics. Because let's face it, the return of Uhuru Kenyatta's, the return, let's face it, the return of Uhuru Kenyatta into Kenyan politics is actually sending panic in Kenya Kwanza. So before you do all those, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And on the same breath, please, if you've been supporting me, just know I appreciate it from the bottom of my head. Now let us get back to William Ruto's plan. What is William Ruto's immediate plan? How is he planning to tame Uhuru Kenyatta? Number one, Jubilee Parliamentary Group meeting. Today, can tell you his plan. Basically, Ruto is keen on rallying his troops to his side, because this move by Uhuru Kenyatta is serious. And remember, currently as we speak, there is the issue of one man, one vote, 1 shilling in the mountain. That issue was being picked up by Kenya Kwanza leaders from the mountain. Kenya Kwanza, the majority of members of parliament from Kenya Kwanza actually comes from the mountain. Majority of votes which Kenya Kwanza got came from the mountain. And their people are telling them about this one man, one vote, 1 shilling. William Ruto is not keen on that one man, one vote, 1 shilling. He's been reluctant. Just the other day, he was in Muranga during the burial of KJ's father. And everybody talked about it. He brushed it off. But Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday revealed his intentions to come back with this particular issue. So that issue is going to be a political issue. As this is going to be a political issue, it means the best people to address or to deal with it are members of parliament from the mountain and from Kenya Kwanza. Let us wait for weekend to gauge how they are going to deal with it. Probably we are going to start seeing majority of these members of parliament now taking this initiative as a personal initiative, and they will bring it to parliament so that Uhuru will not get credit for it. Then there is also the issue of finance bill, which boils to something which is so dear to the hearts of majority of Kenyans, the issue of tax. In that finance bill, William Ruto is proposing to continue burdening Kenyan taxpayers with the issue of tax. So how will these members of parliament go to the ground and convince Kenyans that this 3% levy we are giving, we are going to impose on you as a worker, is your money and you'll be able to take it back? How will they do that? How will they stop Azimio from, let's say, after 2 years? You know, if you save 300 for 1 year, then after 4 years, that would be 48 hours. After 4 years, that would be 48 months times 300. That's good money for hustlers. So when that time will come, and then you just tell these people, this money, I'm going to return it to you immediately. I take over. Poor people will easily vote for you on that. So how are they going to deal with the issue of finance bill? The other issue which they expect parliament to deal with is the parliamentary leadership, especially on the side of Azimio. Sabina Chege, I think, is the minority whip, as we speak, deputy. Being in Jubilee, it's no longer tenable for her. She can then not claim the position. So how are they going to readjust their parliamentary leadership to include people like Sabina Chege? Or are they going to force people like Sabina Chege to continue holding those positions against the law? Because also that's one of the demands by Azimio. So William Ruto's first plan is to rally MPs and senators to his side. He understands that if he were to lose MPs and senators, then Uhuru Kenyatta is going to punish him ruthlessly. So that's number two, the church. And that's why strategically, he was in the presence of those two religious leaders, and they released those photos. You know, the church helped Ruto to entrench his politics. When Uhuru Kenyatta told Ruto to stop early campaigns, Ruto then decided, okay, I'm stopping, but you can't stop me from going to church. So he started going to churches in the mountain. So I'm seeing a situation where Ruto is going to start again attending churches and fundraising. I could be wrong, but I suspect that that was the message he was telling the men of God yesterday. That where's your church? Which church in your area do you want me to come and fundraise for? So that they will get the platform to counter Uhuru Kenyatta. Because from Uhuru Kenyatta's speech yesterday, it was clear that it was intended for the emotions of the voters of the mountain. That's why he was appealing to them that, you know, Mimi, I wanted just to leave, go home. I handed over power peacefully. These guys, I kept quiet. These guys followed me. They came, they stole my goats. They burnt my farm. So I'm not going. And that's why when Ishunga was speaking yesterday, he kind of tried to address that for them, they're not targeting anybody, and that Uhuru Kenyatta has his liberties. So if you ask me, church is his next stop. Number 3, his third plan is to drag handshake into their current predicament. Truth be said, Azimio lacks one thing: communications strategy. And I'm seeing this, and so many people on this platform agree with me, because I normally get your comments, that the narrative of high cost of living, they're losing. But Ruto realized that the mountain can easily be manipulated. The last time he manipulated them using Uhuru and using Raila, and those narratives were stale. Now they are facing serious challenges. There are things they promised to do immediately, they are not able to do. You know, the economy is at its worst. For example, when Uhuru left power, cost of fuel was, I think, 148. Currently, it's 182 here in Kisumu. So that's a big difference. But they're not doing anything. So they want to continue blaming their predicament on the handshake, and they want to continue blaming their predicament on Uhuru and Raila. So most of these members of parliament he met today, expect them to go back to their respective constituencies. And their brief is simple: attack Uhuru, attack Raila, blame them for the current problems we are facing. And I also think number 4, his immediate plan is to avert any fallout within Kenya Kwanza. And it was clear that fallout had started emerging in Kenya Kwanza. There are members of parliament who have said they are not going to support that finance bill. There are members of parliament who are opposed to the way these guys have been treating Uhuru Kenyatta. So, if not checked, they were going to escalate. And that was the biggest mistake Uhuru Kenyatta did. There were signs that things were not right, but Uhuru Kenyatta could not listen to anybody. His allies, his advisors, insisted to him that everything was right while it was not right. So they went to, Ruto is keen on, his immediate plan also is to stem fallout in Kenya Kwanza. And lastly, how to tame Azimio. Because with Uhuru's emergence, with the current state of economy, with the alleged cases of tribalism and nepotism, there were complaints. And Azimio had very strong cases. So the only way now is tame Azimio. How do you tame Azimio? Probably in that particular meeting. Probably they discussed, okay, the best thing, let us kickstart certain development projects. So William Ruto would ask each of members of parliament to identify projects which needs to be launched. He will be going there to launch. Rigathi Gachagua will go there, start attacking Uhuru, blah, blah. You know, I don't know what to think. But for me, that's my take. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye-bye.